everybody. This is Jimmy Hitchcock, and this is the Hitch and Tripp show. We decided to do this podcast because we have unique perspectives, different perspectives, but we talk and we talk cordially. Even though we say some things that might be far to the left and far to the right, we have a cordial conversation, and we consider it a great thing to be doing. We want everybody to have this perspective, and we want everybody to be able to talk things through and, just look at it from a different perspective. If you're always in your own camp, you'll never be able to see outside or have a different perspective on anything. All right. But what I want to talk about today is, of course, the Trump situation. But before we talk about the attempted assassination of a former president, I want to talk about why I like Obama, and I want you to talk about why I like it and why my people like it, and I want you to talk about why your people and you like Trump. Okay? Right. So I'm going to tell you why I think that the phenomena of Trump really was catapulted because of Obama. I think a lot of it was the backlash, or what we call white lash.
We call it black lash.
Y'all call it black lash, and we call it white lash. I think it was more about the lash. What I'm saying? It was not so much that in the beginning that I think that people were so interested in Trump, but I think that the opposition of Obama is, or just like the antithesis of Obama is Trump. Yeah. So people gravitated towards him because of that, and then they found out, hey, I like this guy.
Yeah.
This guy is actually saying things and doing things that I like. Yeah. He's giving a middle finger to a lot of the Democrats and the liberals, the hardcore liberals, and the Republicans.
Yeah.
So
anti-establishment.
Anti-establishment. So I think that's why
we're back here.
But the beginning of the situation was, I think, a love that the black community had with Obama. Obama was like, he's the guy that's real cool. He's hip. The way he gives dap to people, and he'll if he sees a black person, or a black guy, he'll give him that bro hug, and then the white person, he'll shake their hand. So I think those subtleties people perceived as, this guy really don't like white people, or this guy really is a Muslim, or this guy's all of these things that he did made people start to have these undertones, these things, these thoughts about what he really was like behind closed doors. Right. And then the hatred for Michelle came later. But I think the reason why black people were so in love with Obama is because he said it straight. He was a great talker. He had soaring rhetoric that was unbelievable. But the soaring rhetoric was really, he still kind of talked kind of just like the normal black dude from the street. You know what I'm saying? Or educated black dude from the street. So that's why I think that people loved Obama, but then the white lash or the black lash came about because I think people started to perceive him as something different or something that he wasn't. I mean, obviously the right think that he's whatever. I mean, you can talk about that. But why is it that you think the hatred for Obama came about so passionately?
I think for the average motoring white person, they wanted Obama to be what everybody was saying he was. He was hope. He was all. Right. He was smooth talking. I like the fact Dan Bongino said this here recently, but I had also heard it before, and he saw it when he was on his protective detail. He said Obama would come in and dress down Democrats just as hard as he would dress down a Republican and put them in their place. And I think that's why I left the door open for Obama. Okay. Right. I remember seeing him on Oprah. They brought him out, this young senator, and Oprah's talking. I remember that. And I rolled my eyes. I said, "Yep, he'll run for president. He'll probably win. He's going to win."
I remember that too.
Yep.
Just like it was yesterday, and I said the same thing.
Yep. And I think it also comes down to strip out the white, the black, the Hispanic. I think it comes down to he sold us a bill of goods that he was going to actually do something different.
Right.
A lot of us had that idea. Okay, he's only a 2-year, 3-year senator. He's not ingrained in all this Washington bullshit.
Exactly.
And then he got up there and he immediately started with the, one thing you got to understand is average everyday working folks don't want to hear that you're going to be giving free insurance out.
Right.
And when they started hitting Americans hard with the insurance thing, that was like dropping a turd in this happiness punch bowl. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then
that started to turn the tide immediately. Yeah.
Immediately, because all these folks, and he had a lot of average, middle of the road Republicans, okay, white folks, if you want to call them that were supporting him, but they also appreciated their insurance they were getting because they were working. I can speak for myself on this. I don't understand when people say you're entitled to insurance. What the fuck does that mean?
Right.
Why are you entitled to insurance? Why, just because you were born into this world, why are you entitled? If we were living in Mexico, you ain't getting no damn insurance. If we're living in Canada, because they're basically socialist. But here's the interesting about think about it.
They are socialist.
My uncle, all right, was living in Toronto, had several heart attacks. They put him on some sort of list for whatever.
That's true.
And then he had to go before a board, and they had to decide, okay, is his life worth us spending all this money on?
Yeah, I heard about.
And then
I heard about the list thing.
Yeah, and he came to America when my dad died. His brother died. He came down to make sure he was dead. He didn't believe us when he was dead. He came out and make sure he's dead. Anyhow, and he went and started getting taken care of here locally. And he said, bro, it is amazing the difference. You go and tell them what's wrong with you. They give you the medication. You go out the door, have a good day.
Right.
And that's the difference. So when Obama came in, I think a lot of us were hoping, that he clean up D.C. That's what he kept touting. I'm gonna clean up D.C. And then another thing that's off-putting, and I don't know how to say this without getting jumped on, but I'm going to say it. CJ will start laughing in the background. One thing I don't like when two women run into each other in a professional setting, law enforcement, business, when two women that know each other, what's the first thing women are going to do? They're going to hug.
Right.
Why? That's just unprofessional.
Right.
We don't need a bunch of hugging going on. We're at work. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you see you said it. When he sees a black guy, he's going to give him the bro hug, right? Mm-hmm. And then when he sees a white guy, he's going to shake his hand.
Right.
Dispense with all of it. Let's all just
shake hands.
Well, whatever is the accepted. And to me, it's been shaking hands until the pandemic, and now we're doing this bullshit, dapping bullshit, all right? But do you see what I'm saying? And then another thing, you turn the White House into some sort of crazy-ass nightclub. I mean, how many times have we seen...
Come on, hold on.
No, seriously now.
Let's give me some data and some proof on
the parties. Just go back and look at any of the parties. A good example right now. Look at Kamala Harris was in New Orleans. Why are you in New Orleans?
Let's start right there.
Okay.
Let's go through the speech lesson on Kamala.
Okay.
Kamala.
That's sort of how you say your name.
Kamala.
It's
like
Kamala?
A comma.
It's not Kamala.
It's not Kamala. And y'all know it's not Kamala.
Right.
Everybody wants to say Kamala. And like Ben Shapiro, he says Kamala on purpose. He knows it's Kamala. Let's go ahead. It's Kamala.
How about this?
But you can call it what you want to call it.
Let's call her Vice President
We know
Harris.
that it's Kamala. Right? You know that, CJ? Right. So, but it's Kamala.
Hey, Zeus, you know that?
I'm finding out right now.
See?
Well, he didn't know.
See?
Okay. So, but anyway.
Let's do Vice President Harris.
Let's talk about the parties. No, don't. We're gonna talk about these parties that you're talking about. Tell me one party that you know about that was like that turned it into disco at in the 80s.
Honey, when they had Beyonce
or the 70s.
Not the 70s. No. I'm talking about when they had.
I'm talking about this. That's the type of disco situation it was. It turned into like a party, a club.
Right.
Tell me. Give me
when they had Beyonce and what's Beyonce's former drug dealing husband? What's his name?
You talking about Jay-Z?
Jay-Z.
They ain't former. They together now. They're still together.
No. He's not. He's still not a drug dealer, right?
No, he's not a drug dealer.
He's a former drug dealer.
Right.
What I'm saying, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Like I appreciate that Obama put in his book that he smoked crack. That was one bit of.
Bro,
Did he not say that?
I don't think so.
CJ,
I don't remember that either.
get on the Google machine.
Let's
Get on the Google
weed.
machine. One of them, and I think
Okay.
it's Obama, smoked
Okay.
crack in Harvard.
You talking about weed? He smoked weed.
No, I think it's crack, bro. We need to figure this out because see, we're walking around thinking he admitted smoking crack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's. You say he put it in his book.
He wrote it. Yeah.
He wrote it in his book.
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay. Go.
Anyhow, when you
We got.
I
we
personally-
got, we got right now. We got somebody looking this up, and we gonna. But I know for a fact that it didn't.
he didn't.
He didn't.
You
put
know that for a fact.
For a fact. Yeah. He would have never been elected president if he said
Why
he
would you say
put because he smoked crack, bro. Like that's
my
like
phone's not working in here.
Oh, your phone's not working? Okay, CJ, you can look that up. But we'll continue the conversation. Okay, let's just say he put. This is what white America is thinking, that he smoked crack.
Right. Yes.
This is what white America is thinking. Okay,
Yes.
so it makes a lot of sense. Why
Larry
people-
Sinclair appeared in a week repeated his claim that he did smoke crack. Snorted his powder cocaine while Barry pulled out a glass cylinder from his pocket. That's on Politico.
That's on Politico.
Yeah.
What did it say?
It's talking about Obama. Larry, whoever Larry is, snorted his powder cocaine while Barry pulled out a glass cylinder from his pocket to smoke crack.
Oh, you're talking about the guy that's saying he smoked crack.
No,
But
that's the
I'm not
story.
talking about. I'm
Right.
not talking about his book. You said he put it in his book.
Do you got Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look it up. Look it
Yeah.
up and see if
I'm
Obama talks about smoking crack.
I'm gonna send you the Wi-Fi password so you can look this up while we on
On air. So let's go back to the parties.
Okay.
I personally, when you look at the White House and you see,
But this is what white people think.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying. That's what I
Yeah.
want to know.
yeah,
This is what white people
100%.
think.
That's
Okay.
what when we roll
North
our eyes.
Carolina, especially people in the hills.
Well, no, I mean
No?
you can't know. I don't know that most folks up in the mountains are paying this much attention. I think
Okay.
I think I pay this much attention just because I'm from Concord and
Right.
But yes, I distinctly recall it's widely discussed that, and I would always actually defend it. I'd just like, hell, I don't care. I mean, that's fine with me if he was in college. I mean, college is your experimental years.
That's so.
I mean,
true.
that's kind of what you're there for.
That's so true.
I don't have a problem with smoking crack. I mean,
Okay.
And the fact that he's smoking, if it was, and then we're gonna find out if he said it in his book or wherever.
Right.
But if it was, and it's even more impressive. He's in Harvard Law School doing it. I mean,
10-4. And cocaine. Right.
now you're gonna delineate between the difference between cocaine and crack.
No.
It's the same thing, bro.
I'm not.
Crack is whack.
I know crack. I know crack is bad. You know.
It's,
I know.
it's cocaine though.
It's coke. It's coke. It's free base rock.
Yeah, yeah.
They make it into
Yeah,
rock
yeah,
cocaine.
yeah.
So he put that in his book. That's in his book. That's just that was.
Yeah, it's in his book, bro.
Memoir, yeah.
in
Yeah.
his memoir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that. Well,
95%.
I'm being educated.
Yeah, 95% what I'm gonna throw at you is gonna be right in some sort of
It's going to be some sort of truth in it.
It might be a little bit.
Okay.
Now he's gonna say cocaine. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna get the book.
But I'm going to say this though, like, if somebody's snorting cocaine, like half of Congress and half of the Senate, 3/4 maybe,
Yeah. Cocaine Mitch. I mean, come on.
right. And then if somebody's smoking a crack pipe,
Yeah. Makes it a little bit wilder, bro.
makes it just a little bit wild. You know what I'm saying?
It's a little bit wilder.
It's just a little bit wild.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
It is.
So,
and that's why we make the joke.
Right.
Crack is whack because of what. What's
but
that?
if he would have put that he smoked crack in his book,
Yeah.
he would have never been president, right? But cocaine, I know a lot of folks that's done powder cocaine
a ton, but
in
hold on.
college.
Hold on.
I never touched it.
If he admitted smoking crack, and honestly, I think he didn't say that until after he was president. To be real frank with you, I didn't think.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah. But what I'm going to say though is going by that statement, we would never have thought we'd have a convicted felon who's getting ready to become our president. I mean, you understand how many convicted felons can't even vote.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm a convicted felon.
Right. So he's right now technically a convicted felon, and we're all going to is good. I mean, right now it's leaning towards it's going to happen.
You know that trial there.
Oh, it's bullshit. I've got a T-shirt that says I'm voting for the convicted felon with Trump's face on it.
I'm not. That trial didn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
You know, the January 6th thing.
Yeah.
You know, that means something to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason why it means something to me because there was definitely intent.
Yes.
In his words, in his mannerisms.
Yeah.
And with the crowd.
Yeah.
To push him toward making sure that election didn't get certified. But we're going to go back to what we're talking about. Okay? Which is, you know,
Obama smoking crack with little Jay-Z in the White House at disco parties.
Right. At parties.
That's not at all what we're talking about. Yeah.
So, but I see how the white public, or, you know, America, most of America, which is white, would kind of put that together. Okay, he had some cocaine in college. He did some weed in college. Now he's got Beyonce and Jay-Z in the White House. Now he's got some other black folks, some rappers and things like that in there. I see how in white America's, you know, framing of the situation that they could say, oh, he having crazy parties up in there and he's doing all kind of wild things.
Is Epstein.
Right. So I can see how
it gets ginned up.
It gets ginned up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and another thing,
the thing that I didn't like about Obama was he smoked. He smoked cigarettes.
I loved it.
Yeah, I know you did.
I loved it.
You know, I know you loved that part.
I've never smoked a cigarette day in my life, but I love the fact
that he did him.
That he did
him.
And I think that's why I'm gonna keep pounding in your head when folks ask me about why Trump, the things you're telling me, you're pointing out about Obama is why I liked Obama. And there wasn't a lot I liked about Obama, but the fact that he was him smoking cigarettes.
Right.
He got in that little tussle with the police officer. I remember that. I was talking with CJ about it. And he said, let's sit down and have a beer.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Right.
That's, and going back to we were talking about our intro, a little more background on this. Jimmy and I have been friends ever since high school. And we both went on with our lives and did our things and through Facebook,
right?
You know, because
you came back,
and I think one reason me and you is because me and you were in the same threads arguing
all the time.
But we come messing each other, in a private message, and say, "What are your thoughts?
What are your thoughts?"
And then when you ask me, "Why do you say some of the things I say them to get people to talk
about it."
I don't necessarily agree with some of this stuff.
I knew that when you were doing what you were doing.
And I think when you and I were talking, we said we ought to do something like this because there's a lot of things the white folks think, and I don't understand this. I don't understand what happens after high school. After high school, it seems like we go off into life, and these weird walls get built. Okay, and friends of mine that I never would have thought had a problem with the black community, the Hispanic community, the whatever community, they do. They do. And I ask them why. What what in the world happened since we left high school when we all got along great and shared the same rectangular shaped pizza?
You know what? There's a lot that I don't understand either. I don't understand why people don't have these conversations more, But
how often do you see a black guy and a white guy talking? Let's be honest.
If they work together,
that's it. And even then, they're still pretty standing. It takes a unique relationship for them to be who they are.
Be able to say anything you want to say and not get into a fight over it.
Yep.
Right. But the thing about me is, I just don't understand why we can't have this conversation and we can't have this conversation civilly. I think that social media has
killed us.
A situation and divided us in a way, and then the politicians then play on that as well, right? They're gonna do their best to inject race into politics every single time.
It's causing me and you have to come talk to each other.
Every time the presidential election comes around. I'm gonna tell you something. As far as his mannerisms, he's a man. He's a man's man.
Yeah.
you want to sit down with him and have a beer with this guy.
Yeah.
He's just that type.
Yeah.
And he seems to be very entertaining.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's just so funny, you know.
Yeah.
So he's very entertaining. So people gravitate to that. Black men, of course, gravitate to
entertainment.
And the testosterone situations he's throwing out there.
Yeah.
Right? So, but the thing that I don't like about him is the divisiveness.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I don't like about Trump is the divisiveness. It seems that he's calmed down a little over the last 4 years.
I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, he's significantly calmed down.
Yeah.
I mean, he seems to be a bit more calm. I think the brashness scares people, and the reason why is because I think that sometimes deep down in the psyche of black people or is the thought that there's somebody that could galvanize white folks to come for us.
Yeah.
You know, and the whole talk about civil war and race war, it started to really catch momentum as Trump started to ascend and started to become, get to the top of the ticket.
Yeah. And also some of this rhetoric he was saying, and I'll completely agree with this and say I see it. You had all these skinheads who were coming out of the fucking woodwork and thought it was okay to act a fool.
Right.
And shame on white America for not saying
that's not right.
And that's the thing I was having to fight back with some of our high school friends that were on to me. You're a racist because you support Trump. I'm not.
Right.
And we have to put our foot back on the throat of those skinheads and those like that. Who was that one former politician in New Orleans that everybody's trying to saddle Trump to in the very, very beginning of 15, and he's like, no. I forgot about him. Yeah. And he's an open Klans member.
Right.
And then on the flip side, sometimes Republicans aren't quick enough to point out, well, Joe Biden was best friends with the head Klansman senator. What was
Which
his
is
name?
very true. Very true.
And
yes.
And so
yes, very true.
Yeah. So
and he had that guy had become a congressman. Byrd.
Yeah.
Byrd.
And he was
Senator Byrd.
Senator Byrd.
Yeah.
And he was very powerful.
He was very powerful.
Yeah.
When they become Klansmen and then they say they are Reformed Klansmen, well, it doesn't sit well with me because I don't know what Reformed Klansmen.
Yeah.
You go so far to the left, but I mean to the right, and then you come back a little bit. I don't know if Senator Byrd was, anyway. That doesn't matter.
And one other thing that I want to throw out there is the Louis Farrakhan thing with Obama. You start cutting out pies of people that support you,
right?
And when it's all that stuff about Louis Farrakhan and how he was buddies with him, and that's going to put off.
Right, that's going to put off white America.
And so,
right,
but
in the Jewish community,
the insurance,
as well.
the Obamacare, and ironically, I there's parts of Obamacare I support.
Right,
it's easier for my wife to get insurance because of the pre-existing
conditions.
Yeah. But I like the guy because he was the deporter in chief. I mean, this guy deported more illegals
than anybody. Right? Yeah, and anybody in the history.
In the history.
Yeah, in history.
It was like he had and also he was real quick to drone strike somebody. That guy liked killing people with drones.
Well, yeah, I mean, Obama was and not only did he do drone strikes, but he did them illegally.
Yeah,
he went and got them. He went and got them.
Yeah, and he's also the one that gave us this whole most recent NSA issue we've got where they're recording all of our text messages. They say they're not looking at them, but
of course they are.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah. So you go ahead and finish with your brashness
so the brashness, and just like I said, in the back of Black Americans' minds is this whole thing. They think, or some think, it could be maybe true, that if there's a person to galvanize and pull the trigger and say, it's time.
Yeah.
Okay, for this race war.
Yeah.
We know we can't win. Okay. There's no way to win a war.
Yeah.
No people, so it's a fear, I think, that's inside that when you hear that rhetoric and you hear a person that is just going hard.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, going straight at the community.
Yeah.
Not holding any punches.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Although it's probably been some races that did hold punches.
Of course, they have to. You can't motor around in public
Right.
without holding. Yes, of
Right.
course. Yeah.
But I think that is the whole thing with Black America. Why they don't like Trump. I mean, I don't think that can he be worse than what Biden's been in the last
Nothing can get
4
this
years?
bad.
I'm saying as far as the being able to run the country, we know right now how in the heck is Biden run this country?
He's not.
He's not.
He hasn't been for a while.
So who's running it?
The scary answer? His crackhead son.
Jill?
Hunter.
No, I think it's Jill. You think
so?
Yeah, I don't think it's Hunter. I don't think Hunter
All
has
the Axios
capacity.
reporting right now is that Hunter's the holdout. And
Probably, yeah. Because
big-
why? He don't want to go to jail.
Wait, not only does not want to go to jail, but I mean, look at the money train that he's on. And here's what's going on: big Democrat donors are now getting together, saying, "Okay, Hunter and Joe, we'll give you this much money just to sell off and y'all will be fine. Have a good day."
Oh, that's what they're going to do.
Oh, 100%.
I think by Monday.
I don't think it'll take Monday.
Yeah, it might be tonight.
The man's claiming he has COVID, but he's not wearing a mask. You
Right.
notice that?
Right. I think it's right now. I think it's either going to happen tonight.
Yeah.
This is Friday.
Yeah.
What's the date? The 18th.
Yeah.
Friday 18th or 19th.
The 18th.
Okay. So I think it either happens tonight or sometime today or by Monday that Joe he steps down.
So I don't fuck it up. You think
Right.
VP Harris will be y'all's nominee?
No. And the reason why I don't think it is because she'll galvanize and she'll energize the right even more.
I cannot believe I'm talking to a
did.
black man
Yeah.
right now
Yeah.
in America
But I'm just
that
being
doesn't
real.
see what's going to happen
I'm
if
being
they don't
real.
put Harris in there.
I'm being real though.
and I appreciate that.
and-
but
and
you
the-
know what's going to happen.
People
Lose their minds.
No, because something will happen to where she's either with Gavin Newsom on the ticket as the VP, or someone else of color will be on the ticket with Gavin Newsom. That's just what's going to happen.
The money.
Right.
If they can't
The
get
only,
that money,
That's a good point.
but they can't use that $100 million.
It's more than that, bro.
100 billion. What is it? How much?
It's a couple hundred million. Yeah.
Couple $100 million.
Only for Harris.
Are you telling me
Yeah.
that they can't raise a couple $100 million
Oh, yeah,
in five? In how many weeks will it? It might take 3 days to raise that
Yeah,
money
yeah,
that
yeah,
they're
yeah,
losing that Biden has.
Yeah, apparently there's a $90 million check right now that was going to the Biden-Harris campaign.
That they stopped.
They stopped it and said, whoa,
Right.
whoa, let's pump the brakes. We can't win with this.
So that's a farce. That whole money thing, saying that the money can't go and you can't transfer the money. Yeah, of course,
yeah.
the money's not an issue in politics.
And is there a law that says they can't? It's
Yes, a law. It's some type of
Campaign bullshit.
campaign law that you can't pass it to Gavin Newsom. It has to be someone in your administration, I guess, currently, or vice president only. I don't know.
You can take money from the Iranian government for your campaign, but you can't give your money to somebody else.
Dude,
I mean, come on.
I don't understand. I don't understand the whole.
Yeah.
The money in politics is so bad, bro.
Oh yeah.
You can't be president
Yeah.
if you don't raise $2 billion.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
No, is this a democracy or what? Is this really a democracy or what?
Let's move to a
But anyway.
conspiracy theory real quick.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say it out loud. And I'm gonna start with 60 Minutes.
What?
One of the most liberal shows, but I enjoy watching it. So 60 Minutes did a special a while back about how the Iranian government hires hitmen. Okay? Go back and watch it.
I'm going to watch
And there was an Iranian, I want to say she's an Iranian dissident that was living in our country. And they interviewed her. Because this random, heavyset Muslim kid who was like a pizza delivery guy, I don't know what the hell he was. He walks up on her front porch and she catches him on a ring camera with a gun on the front porch. And this idiot, this supposed assassin is, ringing the doorbell. And I guess when she opened the door, he's going to shoot her. When the FBI had already been to this woman's house and said, hey, we've got some credible information. The Iranian government's trying to kill you. Which she knew, okay? But here's some more, right? So then this happens, FBI rolls in, they arrest the guy. Sure enough, they trace it back. The Iranian government had hired this guy in the States to kill this woman in the United States.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Okay.
In New York or something. Is it New York?
I don't remember. I don't remember where it was at. But my conspiracy theory, because you cannot find anything on this guy, and you're going to try and tell me,
wow,
how this guy's 20 years old. He's a dietitian aide, so basically he's just mixing peas and carrots for old people in a rest home. Okay. Suppose he got bullied in high school. Okay. Suppose he's a registered Republican. Okay. Suppose he gave money to Biden. Okay. None of this makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
and we're going to talk about more of this later.
Yeah, if you watch the video and him scoping the place out, and then the other thing is he had planted the gun. And anybody that knows anything about law enforcement, the Secret Service, they're supposed to do a sweep with bomb dogs that would have detected the gun. Okay, and they didn't do any of that. So my point is the Secret Service knew that the Iranians were wanting to kill Pompeo and Trump over that Soleimani guy that he killed. Okay,
right.
And it came back up apparently within the past month or so. The Secret Service should have done whatever. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying that if
I remember
they need to do a deep dive, because somebody's not telling us something. This guy doesn't just randomly calls into work and says, I won't be in today, but I will be in tomorrow. He thinks he's going to go and take 8 shots at the president and show up for work the next day. None of this is matching up.
None of this is making sense.
Yeah, there's no.
And then they say the Iranians had a plot. They said it like an hour
afterwards.
You know,
I mean, come on.
Come on. And that's what we're going to go to. But
and the failure.
Give me before that. I want you to list your top 5 reasons why white America loves Trump. Top 5 reasons. I'm gonna tell you before I let you say this, okay. I'm gonna say this. I'm not a Trump guy, but I respect Trump,
right,
and the power that he has over a massive amount of people in America. I respect it. Right. So, you know,
and the ability to get everybody back together.
To get everybody back together.
I mean, he's got people. J.D. Vance called him Hitler.
Exactly. and now
he's his VP.
Unreal.
Haley. So number one, white America sees that he's for Americans. All of us, white, black. We see, and this is the way we feel, when he says I'm for America or Americans, that's what I am. When he goes in overseas, he doesn't give a shit what's going on in England. He doesn't give a shit what's going on in Poland. He gives a shit what's going on and does it affect us.
Right.
Okay? He doesn't want to give our taxpayers money to countries. The list, he sat down and openly said, why are we giving money to these countries? Why? Somebody tell me. This is millions and billions of dollars. That's the first reason. Second reason is the safety issue. He loves and respects the military, law enforcement. I mean, right now, he is the most ardent supporter of his Secret Service team. Now, to clarify that, he's talking about his group that's assigned to him that he deals with every day.
That he deals with.
And there's no doubt in my mind that group right there is all about taking care of him and his family. They're just not given the resources. We can talk about that later.
Absolutely.
The third thing is legit. Look at our economy. I liked Clinton because we had a great economy. Okay.
Clinton had a great economy.
Great economy.
Yes,
okay.
One of the best ever.
Look at his economy. You cannot dispute the.
Dude, I think it's really just it's horrible. It's
horrible.
It's the worst inflation. This is the biggest inflation we had in our lifetimes.
$10 for a bag of grapes last night.
Man,
think about that.
It's $12.50, $15 in Winston-Salem.
Yeah,
you bought yours up
in the mountains.
In the mountains.
Yeah. So that'd be number 3. Number four. Just his what he exudes as he's an American.
Right.
Okay. Democrats, Biden, all Biden wants to talk about is how he wants to help the Ukraine.
Right.
Why does he want to help Chicago? Why does he want to help New Orleans? Why? I mean, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, Trump literally is going into the barrios this time, which I think he should have the first time, but let's be honest, he wasn't a politician.
Right.
But it's smart. He's tied up in court in New York. Let's go over to a barrio.
Right.
Let's talk to these folks. Let's tell them. And look what happened to him. He goes to one place in Philadelphia. He goes to a place in Philadelphia, and the guy comes out and says, I'm not a big Trump guy,
right?
But when Trump was president, this sandwich was $6. Now with Biden, it's $16. And he says, it's just because I have to pay more money to put this sandwich together. It's not because I'm trying to make more money.
Right.
And Trump came into his steak and cheese place or whatever. Philly
Right.
cheese. So anyhow,
Philly cheesesteak.
it's those things.
Oh
and
yeah,
and what he did for the military, and because I have a son that's in the Air Force, and I pay attention, what he did for the military, giving me the choice, the Choice Act is I think what he called it, and what it was like I would have to drive to act. Now when I say these things, it's 45 minutes to an hour. I'd have to drive to Hickory to a VA clinic, to Asheville to a VA clinic, or Johnson City for a VA clinic. Okay.
Right.
And Trump said, why are we making them drive? Why can't I get service from a civilian doctor and
Makes
we
sense.
pay for it? It makes total sense.
Makes sense.
And then here's what happened. I thought we still had that. I show up because I'm having an aneurysm. Can't see out of my left eye. My blood pressure's through the roof. I pull into the hospital. They say, yeah, there's something going on. $8,000. I'm paying $8,000 for that one visit, all because Obama came in and canceled the Choice Act. And I didn't know it. Nobody sent me a damn email. So now I got to go through paperwork trying to get the government to pay for it. And anyhow, but those are the things that we see, and also things that.
But he should have. But if Trump should have, made that situation a little better.
He should have made it a law.
Right.
He did it through.
He did some type of. I knew
like an executive order or something.
Did something small.
Yeah.
But they should have got together and made that a little better
100%.
situation.
And I think there's a lot of things about everybody. A good friend of mine who's a staunch. I mean, this guy's a retired military, retired police officer, been there, done that, and he for the longest time he was so anti-Trump. Even though he voted for him, he's just like, no, he should have fired this person. He should have done this. He should have, cleaned house better. And I'm like, bruh. We all knew it was going to take more than 4 years to start even making a dent in the swamp.
Absolutely.
And when you come in, you don't know who you can trust. When you're talking to these 4-star, 3 and 4-star generals and admirals, you don't know what their background is. You know what their, you don't know that they have a contract coming up. And I think they do need to make a law that you cannot go into lobbying after being a politician for so many years, because the correlation is right there. You can see what these guys are, especially these retired generals. Right. I mean, I don't know. So anyhow, those are the reasons why. Okay.
It's a roundabout way of talking about the 5 reasons, but that's. I can understand what you're saying there. Yeah, I can understand, but I'm gonna tell you something. If Trump gets back in office, which he's probably gonna win, I mean, it's to me, it's like 95% done. He's back, but
unless they kill him.
As soon as he gets in office, he needs to take down the tariffs from China. And this is my. I know it's probably not going to happen, but he needs to take down the tariffs. Right? That's the first thing. And the second thing is he needs to attack these corporations, these food distributors, and get these prices down. You see what I'm saying? Because they are gouging, bro. It's not. What's the situation now?
It's a feeding frenzy.
What? Yeah. Now the profits are through the roof. So now, because it's a publicly traded company, they're going to have to meet those profit margins and that profit, those projections. They're going to have to meet those projections based on the projections that they had with the overinflated, groceries.
Red Lobster had a 10% drop because of the all-you-can-eat shrimp. Right. And because they had a 10% drop, and it's a publicly traded company, that had closed 75 restaurants. That makes no sense to me. They were still making money. Those restaurants still making money, but they punished the locals. Myrtle Beach's Red Lobster is closed over this.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, closed. Myrtle Beach.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah.
How can Red Lobster be closed on Myrtle Beach? Like,
it was one of the ones that got put on the chopping block. And it was simply because the stakeholders were mad over the 10% loss. I mean, that's... I think they still made $80 million in that quarter. It was some crazy number.
I got to do more research on that, man. But I'm telling you, the inflation in the food prices in the grocery store. I was talking to a lady, and I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna go talk to her and interview her and put her on my. Yeah. I'm talking to her at the gas station. She works the mid shift. All the way to like 9 o'clock. Yeah. I go there. I go to the gas station there all the time. She works there, but she's got a family, right? Yeah. But she's a single mom. She's got a daughter, with another daughter. So she's a grandma, right? Yeah, yeah. And she's got another son living with her as well. Okay. Right. I don't know how much she makes at the gas station. She probably make $15, maybe
17 max.
17 max.
I don't know how she does it,
bro. Like,
yeah.
I asked her. I said, "Ma'am, do you mind me asking you how are you doing?
Yeah.
How are you making it?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because working this job right here,
yeah,
you have to have another job."
Yeah.
She was like, "I do."
Yeah.
And she said, "It's very difficult." And she said, and this is what I empathize with. She said, "I have a grown up living with me, and she has her daughter with me in the house. She doesn't do the cleaning. She doesn't do anything but sit around, get on the phone, not doing anything, not bringing money and trying to help her, nothing. And she's taking care. That's her fault.
That's her fault.
And I told her that. I said, you know what? That's your fault."
Yeah.
I was like, so, and she was like, she's got to take care of the entire household. She's always cash apping her money, you know, things like that. I said, and the reason why I ask you this is because I see the stress in your face.
In your face. She carries it.
Yeah, you carry the stress in your face. And I said, what about the grocery store prices? She said, we barely eat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Think about that.
No.
Think about that for a second. Right? So we're talking about people that's hurting that, you know, that people are not thinking about. The politicians not really thinking about them.
Nor do they care.
They don't care.
Largest building in my town is called, I think it's Avery Cares or Avery, but it's a food shelter. They give out free food on
right.
And
she says about hitting that food shelter.
It's shocking to me how many people that I see, that I know that are having to go there, that I think have pretty good jobs, but then when you sit back and look at what's going on with the economy, you can't afford to buy anything. So I now understand why they're pulling in and getting a box of whatever they're giving out.
Right. So that's the inflation has to come down, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if it's going to come down. I don't know if it gets any better. I think it gets worse before it gets better. And I don't know how Trump, if he gets in the office, he's going to bring it down, but it has to happen because people are hurting, man. And we don't see them. They don't get enough on, visibility. We don't talk about it enough with people that are hurting and actually, can't afford to buy certain things, can't afford to have fun, eat out. They got to work all day, every day. These are the people that's going to actually be voting for Trump because they see the inflation, but they are looking for him to change it.
I'll make this statement.
And I hope if he goes in office, it's changed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want him to win. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying if he does, it needs to change.
I'll say this today, July 18th, 2024, Trump becomes our president. I promise you the inflation comes down.
Okay.
And prices.
All right.
And prices.
Okay. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this assassination attempt.
Okay.
All right. And before we do that, I just want to hear because I know you have a theory. I just want to hear it, just uncut, just the theory, what you have about why this happened and what was the situation like. Was the guy not on the roof for how long? 26 minutes or something stupid like that?
Yeah. He was walking around for a full hour. Honey, he was an hour before the thing. He made it onto the Secret Service's list because he had a rangefinder. If you're a police officer and
he had a
he had a golfer's rangefinder and he's walking up and he's getting distances. Yes, bro. And on top of that, they had fences. They had fences that the Secret Service had not negotiated. And by that I mean in their pre-planning, there's fences that were within 75 yards of where Trump was going to be that were locked. There's a video of the Pennsylvania State Troopers are using their truck to knock the fence open so the officers can go over there and start dealing with the dead guy on the roof. I mean, you had 10 officers stuck behind a fence. The failures, and thank you for starting this conversation because it's going to get me wild on this. The fact that we have, and that's the problem we have with Democrats. Okay, this comes down to why we have problems with Democrats. Why the fuck?
DEI.
Why the fuck do you have a woman in charge of the Secret Service that said out loud that 30% of her agents are going to be females? I don't want to ever hear anybody say that because and this is going to be taken wrong, and I'll catch hell for
No,
it.
this is where we're going to put the when the lady can't even holster her gun.
No,
She can't even
not just
holster.
that. There's men that can't holster a gun.
Right.
But here's the problem I have. Don't lower the standards.
Right.
Do not. If you're going to do this and you put a woman in, she's got to be able to. She's
got to make everything A's across the board.
Have a good day. Women in Ranger School, okay?
Right.
Women in Ranger School.
You better be as good. You better be as
good. They lowered the standards for women in Ranger School. Mm-hmm. Okay. They made it.
Really?
Yes, bruh. Yes. There's books out there right now that will give you the no-go notes from the Ranger instructor. It says, student such and such did not do this, this, and this, and she was passed on. This female Ranger, this female student, was given more time, was able to be pulled out and given more time to rest her body. I don't care. I know there's women out there. They're more badass than I've ever thought about being. I've met them.
Right.
Scariest women in the world I've ever met. Mossad agents, Israeli Mossad agents.
Of course.
And they're little petite things. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is the fact that you had, and another problem I have. Trump is 6'4". You have a 5'4" woman.
Right.
Okay. How's she gonna tower over top of a 6'4" man?
How you gonna cover him?
How you gonna cover him?
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Can't cover brain
you can't
shot.
And did you notice what happened to RNC? Okay. Mm-hmm. Now everybody that's around his detail are 6'5"
or better,
with Marine Corps Ranger haircuts and are scanning the area. The Secret Service takes care of the most important thing that America has, and that's our leadership. Right. And that's not just the president. I mean, they're protecting Fauci right now. A lot of people don't realize that.
I know they are because he's
getting a lot of death threats from people on my side, and I don't get that. I don't like the guy. I think he's full of shit and whatever else. But why are we making that anyhow?
Yeah, well, let's let that go. Let that go, people.
Yeah, DEI is going to kill America. I'm telling you that right now, and that's why there's so much pushback on it.
Oh no, it's being dismantled everywhere,
and it has
across
to be.
The board.
It has to be a meritocracy because I want the best person. Another good example: the United States Air Force. The guy who's our Secretary of Defense. He's like the #1 guy for Obama. Mm-hmm. No, Obama for Biden. Of course, he's a black guy, perfectly fine, 4-star Air Force. 2 years ago, he's given a speech that he wants to make all the Air Force pilots at least, I want to say 40% black. And everybody said, wait a minute, you're going to literally say that they have to be 40% black. Why don't we leave it at whoever can pass the fucking test?
Let's go back to the conspiracy theory.
Okay.
All right. Tell me more about what you think about why they're trying to kill Trump.
Why they're trying to kill him? It's the only way to get rid of him. They've tried to indict him. Didn't work. They've tried to. I mean, they're using. I mean,
what's the bottom line base reason?
They don't want the war machine cannot have him.
Yeah.
The war machine knows when he comes back in,
he's going to stop that.
He's going to reel back. Not just he's going to reel back the monies, but he's the type that's going to call up Putin and say, "Look here, motherfucker, this is over with. Right. Take your people, go back to Russia. We're done with this, and we're going to fuck your shit up."
I don't know if Putin.
Hide and watch.
I don't know if he'll agree with that.
Hide and watch.
I don't think he could go. I think he's going to try to take over that area.
If Trump was still our president right now, he would never done this. And I damn sure know Hamas would have done what they did.
Well, he set up. You could see that he was setting up for the Ukraine war right as Trump was leaving office.
Because we have a president coming in that's shitting in his pants.
Well, he could have did something about it right there.
Biden.
Why didn't Trump do anything when he saw them setting up? You could see it on Google Earth. You could see him setting up.
Honey, Trump gave them weapons. Obama gave them blankets. That's a true story. That's the truth, CJ.
Some of that's true.
It's not some of it. When Ukraine asked Obama,
he did give them weapons, but he didn't give the missiles. He didn't give the long range missiles and things like that. I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, but he did give them some
I'm almost
weapons.
pretty positive he gave them blankets.
I don't think he just gave them just blankets, right? But I understand it. But I'm asking you.
Okay.
So you think at the end of the day, it's really about the wars that we're going. The
military industrial complex cannot have him. It's the same thing that happened to John JFK. It's the same thing. I mean, it's happened for.
I'm sorry. I'm agreeing with you on this one.
It's a fact.
And I think it's strictly Ukraine, and I think they really want to attack Iran. I really do. I think that they've been trying. No, I'm talking about the industrial complex.
They
I
do.
think that they
Yeah.
want to. They have been wanting to have a war with Iran since 2012.
Since
Pompeo has been
since
talking
Carter.
about.
Since Carter.
Well, but Pompeo and the neocons,
Yeah.
they've been talking about war with Iran for the longest time.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
do they want to go to war with Iran? What's the reason? Why? What benefit do we have to going to war with Iran? What's
Okay,
the benefit?
Let me paint it like this. I got a wasp nest at my house. Mm-hmm. Big wasp nest.
All right.
Okay. And then because I didn't deal with that one wasp nest, now I got several smaller wasp nests in different areas on my property. It's because I didn't take care of that one main wasp nest. Okay. Now I can do one of two things: go back, hit all the little ones, and then hit the. Or I can just go hit the one in the center, and guess what? All the rest of them will go away. And what I'm likening it to is Iran is a terrorist problem. Iran is of the caliphate. All they care about is killing non-Muslims. That's a fact. Funding non-Muslims. Okay. They are the antithesis of what is wrong with the Islamic faith. That's why the military and shame on Bush, shame on all these presidents that went around during 9/11 and blamed other countries other than the ones that were the actual ones, and they didn't blame the actual ones because it was Saudi Arabia. I mean, let's be honest, 11 of the people that attacked were from Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Why didn't we attack Saudi Arabia? Because we're getting oil from them.
Yeah.
We had an oil man president.
And they buying so many weapons from us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
it was a money situation.
Right. The problem is the Iranians they to me, it seems like it's pretty simple math. You cut off the head and all this other terrorism stuff. Let the Islamic faith go back to being the Muslims that we all hopefully can get along
I
with.
think that it's a roundabout way of helping out Israel. That's what I think. I think.
All right, you're religious, right?
No, I'm not religious.
You were at one time.
At one time, I was. Right. But I'm not a religious person. Religion. I've become disgusted with religion as it currently is.
Right. No, I get you.
Okay.
Yeah, I get you.
Because you have Israel trying to wipe out Palestinians based on the faith. If you read the book of Deuteronomy,
Yeah.
we can talk about that at a later date. But if you read that book, man, it's all about war. It's all about war.
Okay.
Okay. So, but my thing is, if you're saying that take out Iran, so that must be what Trump's thinking. So if he goes
Trump no, and that's the unique thing about Trump. Trump, I feel, thinks the same way I do, but he also sees there's nothing in it for us to go over there and start a war. He wanted out of Afghanistan. He wants us out of everywhere. He is one of those few politicians that just does not believe in sacrificing U.S. kids for something that it doesn't show us. Now, I think Trump's also the type of guy that if Iran were to jump off and do something really stupid, that he's the guy that will use the big bomb. He don't care.
Okay. If that's the case, that you don't think that Trump will
No, I don't. 100%.
will agree to attack Iran.
No.
Because why would you say this is the scariest thing to me about that shooting is that they said Iran
is out
is
to kill the
plotting
Trump.
to kill Trump.
And then he gets shot.
But this this was after.
Yeah.
You heard little snippets about this.
Yeah.
But then they said after
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
trying to say
Yeah.
that white kid
Yeah.
was working for Iran. I mean, come on, like this is
Of course, it's a conspiracy theory.
it's all no. I'm talking about the news networks reported this.
But let me point
Right?
this out. Are you honestly trying to tell me? Do you know how many days the FBI had his phone and couldn't get into it? Did you realize that for a week the FBI kept saying
phones
we
are
can't?
tough to get into
give
nowadays,
that
man.
phone to my wife and tell her my girlfriend's number's in there, and she will have that phone open in 12 seconds, and she will have it pulled up.
Right, so you probably would.
I mean, she laughed when she heard the FBI. The FBI said we're driving down the road on the radio. FBI can't get into his phone yet. She's like, shit, give me that damn phone. She said, I'd be a good FBI agent. I was like, I know you would, honey.
and a detective.
I call her MBI, Maria's Bureau of Investigations. All you got to do is say, Derek's doing this. And
She go and spend the extra money.
Yep, have a good day. But no, you cannot tell me that this kid just randomly was able to do all this stuff, and then on
able to do what they let him do it.
That's what I'm saying. That's 100%. That's what I'm saying.
So what I'm saying is, it wasn't Iran. It's who is it?
It's they're never going to tell us.
We're never going to know.
We're never going to know.
But you can speculate though.
Oh, we can sit here and
what about the Secret Service agent that was behind the stage? Did you see the video of that?
What do you mean behind the stage?
He was behind Trump, and then they show him moving the lady and telling people to get out of the way right before the shots, and it almost was like before he even started shooting, he ducks.
Did you see the lady sitting behind Trump?
Oh, that was filming?
That had the thing up and the shuts go off. She calmly puts the thing.
Right.
Puts it, that's just
not
normal.
She's just sitting there.
I mean, she's on levels of Xanax that I've never seen before.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you what's not normal, too. Like, shots rang out, and it wasn't a lot of people ducking.
I don't have a problem with that one. And here's why.
Why? Like, it was not a lot of people ducking. It was not a lot of people running. Almost nobody ran.
Ardent Trump.
Like white folks are like, if that was a bunch of black people in that area.
I'm glad you're saying it.
I'm gonna tell you something. Yes. It would have been trampled people.
Yeah.
People would have been, people would have been stepped on.
I know.
I mean, it would have been a lot of trampled deaths.
I know.
But the white folks, they like
Abby Phillips.
Whoa, what's going on? And they ain't duck. They just like. Oh man, like I don't know what's going on.
Well,
I need people like that in my corner.
And hold on,
I need MAGA folks in my corner that they gonna just chill out.
Yeah,
and then say USA, USA.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fight. Let's fight.
Yeah.
Right.
Abby Phillips said it best.
I'm not understanding.
Do you know who she is?
Yeah, Abby Phillips. Yeah.
From CNN.
Yes.
I just happened to flip it over to her, and she's like, "I just have to point something out." And she said, I don't know if it's just because they're Trump fans.
Right.
I don't know if, and I don't think she said white, but that's what she was thinking.
That's what she was
I don't
thinking.
know if it's because it's white folks.
Right.
She should have said, I don't know if it's because it's rednecks.
Right.
She said, but did you see how calm?
They were
bullets
calm,
are ringing out.
bro.
The president's dropping to his knees, and nobody's running.
And
it's because, and
why?
It goes
Please
to what
tell me.
what's going back to what you're saying that I ardently disagree with, and I will let you know on record today that if anybody were to snap their fingers or put up a flag and says it's time to go get the blacks,
right,
I'd be one of the few whiteys out there who would immediately say, what the hell are you talking about? This ain't happening. And I'd show up at Jimmy's house.
I hope you would.
Loaded for bear. I'll loan you some of my guns.
I'm coming to your house.
Yeah. That's never, and I hate that that's even in your.
But people's talking Civil War, like race war.
I get you.
It's a lot of talk about that, like white women are saying.
Yeah. But here's the thing. That's the difference between, that's the polarizing difference between what I say as supporting America and not being afraid. If that was a Democratic National Convention and shots rang out, you're right, they'll be trampled. Okay? Right. Because everybody gets hysterical, getting out quick. The true Trumpsters that are going to show up standing in 100-degree temperature, they were out there all day, 12 hours, in 100-degree temperature, hanging in there.
They were going to take one for them.
They were going to, by God, and they're going to point fingers and say.
They're going to take one of those
bullets. And I can tell you right now, I can tell you, there's not enough law enforcement there. There's not enough law enforcement. That kid would have been brought off the roof, and there's not enough law enforcement there to keep it not turn into a lynching mob. We allowed to use that word, lynching mob?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
CJ, me and you and the Hitch are going to have a whole podcast on words we can use and words we can't use, and you're going to explain why we can't use.
I mean, lynching is not a word that's derogatory to anybody, but unless you're saying lynching and you put the N-word behind it.
Well, there was that one politician recently that said something about it felt like a straight up lynching mob, and it had nothing to do with blacks,
right?
But
because the lynching mob is not black.
Yeah, everybody came out and was like, you can't say.
Except Ice Cube. Ice Cube's lynch mob. That's a difference.
Hey, what's going on with our man right now while we're talking about it? What's going on with the pedophile that we were talking about last time? I got him confused.
Talking about Diddy.
P. Diddy.
Oh.
Is he still out and about? I don't know
what's going on. Yeah, he's not going to get arrested, bro.
You don't think so?
No. He's not going to get arrested. Nah. And I don't know if it's pedophilia, but I know it was like a situation he got into a fight with his girlfriend. But in the last video that I saw that was kind of, you know, well, it's really the first one that I talked about. It's how many people saw this guy land on the roof, bro.
At least 50.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, see him? He's laying down, see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
Instead, I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a Senate.
What's happening?
And to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
There he is.
Easy, because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people. Criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
Right on the roof.
It's much tougher than it happens.
You went right on the roof, big guy.
He was caught with a rangefinder an hour before.
I don't.
And then the Secret Service is blaming the Butler, PA police. And the Butler
Where were the police?
Hold on, I'm going to answer that question right now.
I know you said they were in some type of caged off or something.
No, okay. So what everybody has to understand, and what I want to make sure everybody gets here, the Secret Service is in charge of all of this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Once they come to town, they take over the police.
It's shocking what they take over.
Yeah, they take over.
Obama came through. Obama came through up in Boone.
Yep.
And they overtook every sheriff's office within 5 counties. And we were told you are working for the Secret Service. What they tell you to do, they tell you stay in that bathroom.
Right.
In a uniform.
You
don't leave.
Yeah.
So, with that said, the Secret Service saying, well, that section was supposed to be Butler, PA's responsibility. And the mayor came out and said, oh, hell no. Y'all called us and asked us for 7 officers for traffic control. And we didn't understand why you just wanted 7 when we could have given you more, when you had thousands of people rolling into this little old town, and you only asked for 7 officers for traffic control? And now you're trying to blame us for not covering that building? No, we're not going to allow you to do that, and we're hoping that there is an exhaustive investigation, because the Secret Service, y'all need to understand something, on their paperwork, it's 100 yards out. What is in there? And it's a very detailed 200 yards out. And you want to know how far out it goes? 1,000 yards, 1,000 meters. You want to know why? Because U.S. military trains all their sniper. A basic U.S. military sniper goes out to 1,000 meters.
Wow.
That's a simple shot for them. Not simple, but that's...
Well, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So that's why they... And eventually, yes, 500 meters, it's buildings. Okay,
Right.
And then you have officers watching the windows or whatever else. But the point of this story is going back to what you say, they let it happen. The Secret Service lady...
It was almost like they stood down.
They pulled some of his detail and sent them to Jill Biden for a party she was having. Why does Jill Biden need additional detail at the White House? You have uniformed Secret Service there. There's so many errors here. Not just, we can throw off when the short females are lady with her holster, okay, and it sounds cheesy and corny. When you're in rookie school, they tell you, stand in front of your mirror for 5 minutes a day and pull your gun. Okay? And I promise you, the younger officers, especially these officers these days, they don't do it because they think that's corny. But I can promise you, when you go to pull that gun out of a triple threat holster, which is hard to get, it's push down, so the bad guy can't get it.
The women agents have been taking heat since those shocking and chaotic scenes.
It looked like a bunch of sorority sisters who were hungover. The one with the ponytail whipping around, she didn't know where she was going. The other one who couldn't reholster her weapon. Not one of these women inspires any confidence.
Seeing pictures that people are posting on social media pointing to how they don't look composed or they look panicked compared to men, and that this is the reason why there was a failure.
The first time you actually have to pull that gun because there's a bad guy with a gun or a knife and you can't get that son of a bitch out, then you got to decide, okay, am I going to go to hands or am I going to run from this guy?
Right.
Or am I just dead because I couldn't get my gun out? My point is there's never should be a Secret Service agent or a federal agent that has any problem holstering or retrieving their weapon. Should never happen. And she clearly had a problem. And the fact that the only real detail they had was them. Okay, the guy in the black uniform that was standing up front when he came out and he was scanning for everybody, he's Secret Service. The guy in the camouflage was Pittsburgh PD SWAT. And you saw them come from behind where the car was, and they all came out to settle everybody down.
Right.
There should have been more Secret Service agents there. Why do we not have more? Secret. And I'm going to do this one thing to you real quick.
And the officers seem to be somewhere else.
Why were they down here? First of all, where was all the bulletproof glass? Obama stood behind bulletproof. I mean, everywhere you look.
I can understand not the bulletproof glass, but I'm saying
you could put panels up, bro.
You couldn't see the cops.
Anywhere.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And the guy's out walking. There's a video of him walking in front of the building for 15 minutes. And a police officer says, hey, does anybody know what this guy's doing out here in this field? There was one guy, and it's him, and he's walking over. He's right at the building. And you can see, I mean, Trump's standing here talking. You can see right through it. And it's the failure. It almost feels like it's a setup.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit older than George Bush's old. If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit older.
It almost feels like,
does.
you know, there's people whispering in people's ears.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say, this is just a situation where you got some bad people in the Secret Service and they just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
It's the premier protective agency for our most cherished
Elites.
And I don't like the word elites, but our leaders.
They're elites.
Our leaders, yeah. And you have the former president who is leading in the campaign, who is hated by the D.C. swamp.
A lot of people.
And you're going to DEI us and put 3 midget chicks on his... I mean, think about it. I mean, seriously. And you saw how short... I mean, the one girl's trying to reach up and put her hands up.
Right.
And what people don't understand is they do that so because if a round hits your hand, it'll deflect it. It won't be as... I mean, there's a reason why they're doing what they're doing. But she can't get her hands up above Trump's head. She was trying...
Trump's 6'4", 6'4". 6'4".
His son's 6'7".
Yeah. His son's going to be 7 foot.
Why were they letting him stand up? And also, listen to the audio. The one big guy yells out, "Let's move." Nobody moves.
Right.
And then the one female says, well, Hawkeye says we're clear. And the guy says, I've already said, let's move. And then, I get this. He's the president, and he says, let me get my shoes, okay? I get he's the president, but...
Well, he's ex-president.
It doesn't matter who it... When that guy man says move, if you have to pick him up and force him off... And listen, I love the iconic picture of him, you know, in the flag, all that. I love all that.
Oh, that won the election for him right there.
It should have never happened. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those that thinks, I'm looking through the prism of, why are we giving them that much space and time? You got somebody fired off 8 rounds into a crowd. That makes none of this makes any sense to me. Anyhow, yes, I hope we're told if you're going to ask me to believe that it was some sort of 20-year-old dietitian aide at some local geriatric house, and he just said, I'll take Saturday off, but I'll be at work on Sunday, and he went and stole his dad's AR-15, and he was that good of a shot. And I'm going to tell you, 150 yards is not a great shot. It's a difficult shot to hit something the size of somebody's head. Think about that. 150 for an untrained person. So where did he get his training from?
Well, I thought about that too, and then I heard someone say that the rifle that he had was one of the best rifles that you can have for a beginner, and you can be a beginner and actually hit small targets from 150 yards. That's what they were saying.
It's an AR-15 with iron sights.
Well, so, I don't know what type of gun it is. I'm not a gun enthusiast,
an AR-15,
but I know what an AR is.
And with iron sights, bro.
I know he had the scope.
Oh, he did have a scope? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I know he had the scope.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they said he was looking down the scope like for a long time. You know.
Well, another thing that I have a problem with is this story that came out that's true, apparently, is a police officer, because they were told, hey, there's somebody up there, had 2 other police officers lift him up.
Yeah.
So the question I have is, so he lifts up, he sees the guy, supposedly Crooks turns and points the weapon at him, so he basically just lets go.
He let go.
And he fell back.
And he fell backwards.
And then when Crooks turned around and started shooting.
Right.
Okay, here's the problem that I have.
What was that? Yeah, what was that about?
And why, if you're a police officer, don't you figure out a way to engage him?
Right.
Okay? And I know I'm a different kind of cat. And I know guys that were police officers with me are different kinds of cats. my fat ass have been climbing up on that roof, even if you're pointing a gun at me, because I know the threat that's out there. Not just the president, but you've got all these people. I don't want another Las Vegas situation where you got some wacko up there just shooting off concert goers. You know what I'm saying? So if I put myself in harm's way and he fires on me, then guess what? Everybody knows he's up there.
They could have made noise, called in the
Caught something. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How did this kid get up there by himself?
Everybody.
With no help?
Somebody's up here.
Somebody's up here.
Yeah.
Somebody's up here. Hold one hand and put your gun. I mean, there's some way. There's something to me, you know. And I'm one of those. I'm hard on police officers when it comes to, people defend officers when they Uvalde. I think all those officers have been arrested. Even the ones that were told by the chief, you're not allowed to go in there. Okay? No, motherfucker. There's kids in that room being shot at. Why are we waiting?
Hey man, I'm telling you, if that was my kids, I would have ran up in there, man.
And the problem that I have is period. The problem I have is in my little old town, if there's a shooting up at our high school, me and several of the veterans we've had this talk at breakfast at McDonald's. We're going to get our weapons, and if the police department's standing outside waiting for whatever the fuck they're waiting for, we're going on in, and we've had the conversation. Okay, how do we negotiate around getting by the police to because we're going straight to the sound of the but that's the problem is I think cops these days have gotten to be so gun shy because of cameras and because of litigation and
getting sued and all
the
that.
old school is gone.
Yeah. The last thing I'll talk about, and we can close out Hitch and Tripp for today, is what people are saying. All right, we have a lot of people saying, man, I hate he missed.
Yeah.
Boy,
Jack
I wish
Black.
he would have. Yeah.
Jack Black got canceled.
Yes, he got canceled for it. I think it's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
I do. I think. I mean,
We
I'm
agree.
not a Trump guy.
Yeah.
And I've said that many times. But I'm telling you, if you're saying those things and saying that, this is a fake, this is set up and things like that, it's your emotions speaking.
Yep.
All right, you're not really looking at it from a humanistic standpoint. I don't care who it is that is at the threatened with a gun or at the end of a barrel of a gun. That is wrong. Period. That's wrong. And you can't.
Yeah.
I don't care if I don't care how much rhetoric and how bad a rhetoric Trump. I don't care if it was demonic rhetoric, right? You do not, as a human being, deserve to be shot.
No.
Dead.
And thank you for saying
because just by the grace, all he had to do was stand. It was fractions of a second that he turned his head.
Thank God for the Hispanics there, Jesus.
He would have been hit straight up.
That chart,
He would have been straight up dead, man.
Dead. On live TV.
On live TV.
And thank you for saying everything you just said, and I completely 100% agree with you. But I think to your point, the question you're asking, where are we at now, it's created a huge problem because, a good example, my wife. My wife leans Republican, but I think she's got some closet Democrat thought processes. Okay,
thought processes.
She voted for Trump. She did not like Trump in the second election because of what you're talking about, the brashness, the tweets, all that, right? Now when I'm I'm voting for the convicted felon with a Trump, she doesn't get defensive. She doesn't, oh my God.
She understands.
She understands. And also.
It's a lot of people that's switching over, bro.
And this shooting, this attempted assassination has completely made it where I'm comfortable wearing a MAGA hat anywhere now.
Anywhere. Right.
There for a while, bro.
You couldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it. Now I would wear a blue Trump hat because it doesn't stand out as much. And occasionally somebody would walk up and say something stupid, and I'd chase them around Lowe's Hardware and bounce a wrench off their head. But now I'm not going to do it because I think the red MAGA hat is just a hideous hat.
Right. It is a bad color.
It's ugly.
Yeah.
So, but no, you're 100% right. It's completely changed the trajectory. I'm afraid no matter who the Democrats put in, they don't have a chance in hell because it's flipped so much.
It's flipped so much, and then it's so much patriotism
behind
and the feeling of it was almost very similar to the assassination when Reagan got
100%.
tried.
Yep.
But it's like turned up 10 times.
Tenfold.
Yeah, tenfold.
And the black male community
is changing.
eating it up.
But I told you before.
You did.
That there was a lot of black males leaning.
You did.
Towards Trump, and they were going to vote for Trump, and it's a lot of black males that really just gravitate towards him because of the masculinity and not being afraid to say what you got to say and what's on your mind, things like that. So that is a natural thing for black males to be, to gravitate towards. But I want to say, if you're a Democrat and you're out there saying Haiti missed and things like that, it shows how much this whole political environment has poisoned you, right? It has poisoned you and has made you feel the same way you're saying that they felt about Democrats. You're saying you're doing the same thing.
The exact same thing. It back and forth.
Yeah, you're doing the same thing, right? So who's going to take the high road?
Yeah.
What party's going to take the high road?
Yeah.
Who's gonna?
Sounds like Trump is, because
sounds like he is.
He changed his whole speech.
He changed his whole speech, and but he's changed his demeanor since he's been in.
He had to.
Yeah, I think so too. Right.
One last thing I'll say. I just lost it.
Bring it back.
What the hell was I going to say? Oh, okay. I don't have I agree with you. Then we need to stop with some of this verbiage. However, like when they're giving Joe Biden a hard time because he said the day that Trump got shot, we need to put him in the bullseye.
Right.
Okay. I don't have a problem, and just like what we're saying, I legit want to have a podcast about words. And I get words have meanings and words hurt people, but just because the president says we need to put Trump in a bullseye to his doesn't mean some. And I know we're not allowed to use the word retard, and so I won't use that. But whatever word I can use for this Crooks kid, okay, because obviously he was a whatever, that doesn't. Just because somebody says something does not mean that gives you the right to go out and act like an ass.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Wholeheartedly agree with you, okay? We shouldn't be saying the things. We shouldn't be spinning things up like the whole pizza thing. Everybody believed Pizzagate. I mean, people really believe that Hillary Clinton had children in the basement of a pizza, so we had crazy-ass whacked out.
Oh, we have people believe that Joe Biden is from the reptilian race.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, we have so many crazy conspiracies going around that people really, really, truly believe. And when you say, as a Democrat or as a liberal, Haiti missed. Well, what you're saying to a nutcase is
try again.
Do
a better shot.
Try again.
Yeah.
We need you're saying this to a nutcase. Hey, maybe I need to go try.
Yeah.
Because I'm a better shot.
Yeah.
I might be able to get it done.
What king was it? King James II that said in open court one day, and this is in the 1400s, 1500s, he said it to his knights. He said, I wish that y'all would do something about this religious leaders that are on my coattails, something to that effect. I just brought it into our time. And so his knights went out and killed the archbishop of whatever because he was the leader of and they went back and said, well, we went and killed this dude. And he's like, that's not what I was saying, y'all. You went out and killed this guy? He was a good dude.
Right.
And well, they did it because they were so zealots and the words. Exactly. You
have to be careful.
We have to be so careful.
You have to talk and you have to be direct in your words. And if you say something wrong, you should correct it and say, I don't mean do anything violent. Don't do anything. Don't go out there.
Violence should never be on the table.
Not in America.
Not in America. I mean, even I want to go and be violent with Palestinian supporters. I truly do.
Right. Some of them are. Some of them are pretty bad.
But I know that you can't. So I don't.
And some of them may be trying to do it for a righteous cause, but some of them are a little. They just been led astray a little bit. They can do it in a better way, in a better manner. You can protest, you can do things in a better manner. But I
want to explore something you said earlier on the next one. You said something earlier about Israelis doing what they're doing to Palestinians. Because I want to know why you think it's not okay for them to completely destroy.
bro. Like
next one.
What? Yeah, the next one. I know a lot of history about. I know the ancient history of the Israelis,
right?
You know, and how they even going back towards Egypt. I know the ancient
12
history.
tribes and all that.
Yeah, the 12 tribes, and I know all the history leading up all the way to 1947.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't know the current history.
Yeah.
And the reason why I stopped paying attention to it is because it's a cyclical process, and I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of the Israelis and the Palestinians. I'm just like,
it seems like we need to separate those
keeps
two.
going.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
right. So it keeps going on and on and on. But yeah, we can talk about it later. But all right, Hitch and Tripp.
Enjoyed it, bud.